because never before has humanity been so connected, yet so mentally overwhelmed. We live in an age of rapid information, constant comparison, emotional triggers, and endless external noise. Stress, anxiety, and burnout are no longer exceptions. They're becoming the norm. People are losing their sense of control, purpose, and peace. In a world addicted to instant gratification and emotional overreaction, Stoicism trains us to slow down, to observe before reacting, and to act with clarity and intention. It encourages self-discipline in a culture of excess, inner calm, in a time of chaos, and meaning, in a world obsessed with distraction. Stoicism teaches that while we cannot control the world around us, we can control how we respond to it. It reminds us that our peace doesn't depend on external events, but on our judgment of those events. By focusing only on what's within our control, our thoughts, our actions, our character, we reclaim a power that modern life often strips away. And the things that once made us feel alive, FaceTime with friends or watching your favorite show, have become the main sources of dopamine in our lives. We stay up way too late, scrolling through videos and Instagram reels. Even when we try to sleep, we find ourselves laying there for hours with our eyes closed, still plugged into the matrix. The media does this on purpose. They make endless amounts of content so we stay addicted to it. But why do we keep consuming it? Why can't we just unplug from all of this? And most importantly, how can we fix it? If you're not careful, social media will ruin your mental health. You should see it as a tool to be used, not as a place to live. Too much screen time is linked to increased levels of anxiety and depression. When you wake up, instead of starting your day with a cold shower and some meditation, you check your phone. You start scrolling down your timeline, and suddenly an hour has passed. You might feel accomplished after checking off everything on your to-do list, but you can't remember what you did today. If you feel this way, don't worry, you're not alone. It happens to the best of us. What if we told you there was a way to break free of this cycle? What if we told you there was a way to reclaim your time and attention? What if we told you about a philosophy that could change your life forever? Enter Stoicism. Stoicism is an ancient Greek philosophy founded by Zeno of Citium in the early 3rd century BC. At its core, Stoicism teaches us how to deal with whatever life throws at us. A Stoic is someone who accepts whatever comes their way without complaining or making excuses. They understand that the only thing that is within their control is their attitude and choices. This allows them to focus on what they can influence and not waste energy worrying about the rest. But how can Stoicism help us deal with the distractions of modern life? Let's take a look at two people who are both terminally online. The first person checks their email every few minutes during the workday. They respond immediately to any notification that pops up on their screen. Their boss praises them for being so responsive and reliable. But behind the scenes, this person feels burnt out and resentful. They never get ahead at work because they spend all their time putting out fires. They also have no free time outside of work because they're too exhausted. The second person checks their email once an hour during the workday. They ignore any notifications that pop up on their screen, unless they read from an important client or collaborator. Their boss thinks they're lazy and unmotivated, but this person feels calm and in control. They have plenty of time to get their work done, and still have free time left over to pursue their hobbies. Which of these two people do you think is more successful? The answer is obvious. The second person. Of course, they're able to balance their work with their personal life and still be high-performing. They're able to focus on what's important and ignore the rest. This is the power of Stoicism. It allows us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. Now, let's talk about how to implement this in your own life. First, you need to set boundaries. Decide how often you're going to check your email and stick to it. Turn off all notifications so you're not constantly being distracted, and learn to say no to requests that you don't have time for. Second, you need to focus on what you can control. You can't control the actions of others, but you can control your reaction to those actions. You can't control the outcome of a situation, but you can control the effort you put in. And third, you need to let go of what you can't control. Worrying won't change anything. It'll only make you miserable. Accept the things you can't change and focus your energy on the things you can. By following these 3 steps, you can become more like the second person we talked about earlier. You'll be able to balance your work with your personal life and still be high-performing. You'll also be less stressed and happier overall. It's easy to get lost in the world of social media and the internet. It's important to remember that you're in control, not the other way around. By following these tips, you can start taking back control of your life and focus on what really matters. Another important aspect of Stoicism is the idea of living in the present moment. A common mistake we all make is to dwell on the past or worry about the future, but doing this prevents us from appreciating what we have right now. When we're constantly distracted by our thoughts, we're not present in our lives. We're not paying attention to the people around us or the beauty of the world. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoics, said it best. He said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury and turned the wrong into a right." When someone wrongs us, our natural instinct is to want revenge. We want to hurt them the same way they hurt us. But Marcus Aurelius says that's not the right way to go. Instead, he says we should do the right thing and move on. Don't let your emotions control you. Be the bigger person and take the high road. In the long run, it'll make you feel better. But how do we actually do this? How do we stop dwelling on the past or worrying about the future? Well, it starts with being aware of what we're doing. We need to pay attention to our thoughts and make a conscious effort to focus on the present moment. There are a lot of techniques that can help us do this, like meditation, journaling, and yoga. But even just taking a few deep breaths can make a difference. When we're focused on our breath, we're in the present moment. We're not thinking about what happened yesterday or what might happen tomorrow. This is a powerful tool against distraction. The more we practice being in the present moment, the less likely we are to be distracted by our thoughts or the chaos around us. We all know that multitasking is a myth. Studies have shown that we're not actually capable of paying attention to more than one thing at a time. But we try to do it anyway. We check our phone while we're talking to our friend. We watch TV while we're eating dinner. We scroll through social media while we're waiting in line. Multitasking may seem like we're being productive, but we're actually just setting ourselves up for failure. When we try to pay attention to everything, we end up paying attention to nothing. We miss important details. We make careless mistakes. We end up feeling overwhelmed and exhausted. Instead of multitasking, we should focus on doing one thing at a time. When we give our full attention to something, we do it better. We're more accurate, more efficient, more focused. We're also less likely to get bored or distracted. Of course, this isn't always easy to do. There are times when we have to multitask, like when we're driving or cooking. But even in these situations, we should still make an effort to focus on the task at hand. When we drive, we shouldn't be texting or talking on the phone. When we cook, we shouldn't be watching TV or scrolling through social media. These are dangerous activities that can lead to accidents or injuries. But even mundane tasks like washing the dishes or folding laundry can become meditative when we focus on them. Instead of seeing these tasks as chores, we can see them as opportunities to practice mindfulness and presence. By focusing on the present moment, we can make everyday activities more enjoyable and meaningful. We can also use this principle in our work. Instead of trying to do everything at once, we should prioritize our tasks and focus on the most important ones. We should learn to say no to new projects so we can focus on the ones we're already working on. This will allow us to produce better quality work and avoid burnout. In conclusion, Stoicism is a philosophy that can help us deal with the distractions of modern life. By following its teachings, we can become more focused, more disciplined, and more resilient. We can learn to let go of what we can't control, focus on what we can, and use our energy wisely. So the next time you find yourself feeling distracted or overwhelmed, remember the lessons of Stoicism. Take a deep breath, focus on the present moment, and let go of what you can't control. By doing this, you'll be able to live a more focused, intentional, and fulfilling life.